Hello, I'm the mistress of Okopa Mountain, which Pavel Bozhov told the world. Lured the best masters in the world into my underground palaces. When I arrived to Moscow, I was amazed by the skill of architects and builders. They created palaces beneath the earth more beautiful than I have seen anywhere in the world. These palaces are stations of Moscow underground. The Moscow Metro was opened on the 15th of May 1935 at 7 a.m. 13 beautifully executed stations palaces, flooded with streams of light, hospitably opened the doors of the vestibules to Muscovites and girls of cab. People stood all night at the entrance to be among the first passengers. Passengers were allowed to pass on tickets of two colors: red tickets to station Sokolniki, the yellow one back. The tickets was considered to be valued to 35 minutes. However, it didn't take much time to travel near Moscow. The length of first road was less than 12 kilometers. Let's also make a trip through the Moscow Metro. I'll tell you about the most favorite stations. In the meantime, try to guess my first riddle. Which station turned to the architecture of ancient Egypt during creating a project, and at which station were the tubs with palm trees used in the daytime? The station Kropotkinskaya was opened on the 15th of May 1935, and in the same year it was recognized as the most beautiful station in the world. According to a legend, Kaganovich, who was responsible of the construction for the subway, saw the project, resented this similarity. But the architect Dushkin wasn't at a loss, and he said, "They have palaces for the pharaohs, and we have for the people." Unfortunately, because of a lack of lights and plans withered, and huge tubs entered with the movement of passengers. All this way the reason for the dismantling of this design element. The lobby of the station is built in the form of one of the symbols of the USSR. What is the name of the station? Arbatskaya station is named after the street Arbat. The ground vestibule have a five-pointed star-shaping plan. The lobby has become one of the first symbols of the Moscow Metro. It is also one of the few vestibules where the inscription Metro is preserved. The architect of the station is Teplitsky. Arbatskaya is one of the most desolate stations in the Moscow Metro. Passenger traffic is 12,000 people a day. On the 5th of December 1931, the Cathedral of Christ the Savior was destroyed, but it may be saved as oaky benches were used in the construction of the station. What is the name of this station? Novokuznetskaya station. Its name came from Novokuznetskaya street, next to which is located. Novokuznetskaya was built on the design of architects Ivan Taranov and Nadezhda Bykova. The station was opened on the 20th of November 1943 as part of the third stage of the Moscow Underground. On the ceiling, there are 6 mosaic panels made in blockade Leningrad by artist Vladimir Frolov. In the design of the station, metal instead for the body of the airship, great metal was used. it was cut into strips, which became not only decorative elements, but also the basis of the construction supporting the station's vault. Which station are we going to? Mayakovskaya station. The station received its name in honor of the Soviet poet Vladimir Mayakovsky. The station was built by the architect Alexei Dushkin. The station arcade is decorated with mosaics made according to the sketches of the artist Alexander Deineka. It reserved the Grand Prix at the World Exhibition in New York in 1938. Initially, the station was designed into the spirit of the Italian Renaissance. The project was registered as unsuccessful as it didn't use the structural capabilities of the steel columns, the use of which was originally planned. During the Great Patriotic War, the station was used as a bomb shelter. This station was the last work of architect Dushkin. Thanks to his works, of which we managed to get acquainted. Кропоткинская, Маяковская, Площадь Революции. During the exposure, we was based on the decoration of the Cathedral Church. For each glass from the Riga Cathedral was used. What's the name of this station? Novoslobodskaya station. The station was opened on the 13th of January 1952. The station became a joint project of a famous Dushkin with the young architect Strelkov. Novoslobodskaya is named after the imposed street at the very beginning of which the station is located. This is a sign. You have to make a wish and choose one of the flowers on the stained glasses window. The desire will come true if you can find the color of each column reaching the end. Of the station, where you can see all at once Dmitry Donskoy and Alexander Nevsky, Minin and Požarsky, Alexander Suvorov and Mikhail Kutuzov. Komsomolskaya station was opened on the 30th of January 1952. The triumph of the Soviet people in the Great Patriotic War is the leading theme of the interior architecture of the station. The ceiling of the station is decorated with 8 mosaic panels of smooth and precious stones by Pavel Korin. They repeat the images of the Stalin speech delivered at the parade of the 7th of November 1941. Stalin's urge to be inspired by the deeds of his ancestors and to defend Moscow. After the exposure of Stalin's cult, 2 panels depicting the leader were replaced. Now, in the picture, we see Lenin speaking before the red guards and motherland against the backdrop of the Spassky Tower of the Kremlin. Korin himself reworked the panel. Komsomolskaya is one of the busiest metro stations in Moscow. The sculptures installed at the station first were cut off their heads, and when they were swapped, which station is it? When and why were all things done? Площадь Революции station, it was opened in 1938 by architect Dushkin. Sculptures of the work of Matvei Meinzer was installed in chronological order showing the events from October 1917 to 1935. In total, 76 sculptures at the Revolution Square station, originally 80. 4 of them were dismantling during the construction of the second exit. Images are only 20 and 18 of them are repeated 4 times, and the remaining 2 images are repeated twice at the opening of the vestibule. Personally, Stalin came and carefully examined all the sculptures, made a historic verdict: how alive, how alive. During the war in 1941, the sculptures were evacuated to Central Asia, and in 1944 they were returned to their place. According to a legend, during transportation they were dismantled, carried into parts, and when they returned, they couldn't understand for a long time where the head was. This is a legend that some heads were mixed up. The prototypes of sculpture images were real people. So, the sailor single man Alexei Ivanovich Rudakov, naval officer whom Queen Elizabeth II herself invited to the walls during the coronation, which led to many different stories about the unhappy love of the Queen and the simple Russian sailor. A prototype image of a young man with a book was Arkady Hudrat, a teacher of the Institute of Physical Education, athlete, multiple champion in Moscow and the USSR, record holder in high jumps. He died in defending Leningrad in 1941. Muscovites had their own magical rituals. If you rub the dog's nose when the safe passing of the exam is ensured. If you touch the mouser from the checklist, financial and business terms will be extremely successful on that day. Who wants to have a child should rub the heel of a baby. In turn, if you go on a date, you should touch the shoe of a bronze young lady. But never ever rub the bronze cock sculpture. Especially never touch its brake, it brings misfortune. These 3 underground palaces have a common name, but the model for one still is the ancient monuments of Pompeii, and the other 2 glorify the friendship of the Slavic people. How are the station called? The Kievskaya station. All stations are named for the nearby Kievskaya station. The first in 1937, the station Kievskaya for the Filovskaya line was opened. Its architecture cooling was inspired by the architecture of Pompeii, Florence and Venice, which he visited before starting work on the project. The metro Kievskaya Ring was the most favorite station of Nikita Khrushchev. He led the country in 1953 and was given the opportunity to build a station dedicated to his native Ukraine. He announced a competition to which 40 projects from Moscow and Kiev architects took part. As it was expected, the victory went to the Kievskaya metro construction. The station was opened in 1954, but at the same time, the Kievskaya-Abud-Pokrovskaya line was built under the project of Moscow architects, and it was opened a year earlier, which turned out better. Everyone decided for himself. This is the end of our tour. We visited a station built in different epochs, created in different styles. I really hope that you could feel the beauty of our Moscow metro and love it, as all Muscovites like it.